yeah, brother. Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser. Greatest podcast known to man, as voted by the Tarantula Hawk. Supposedly has the second most painful sting in the insect kingdom. And their favorite podcast is Stop Crying Poser. We do this podcast every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. Who do we have in the chat? We have Cam7020, South Pole Fletcher, iBook Boy, Day Day, Curlsies, 00, Ancient Magic, Node for Droid, Cam, Day Day. I appreciate you guys tuning in here on Friday. Not the most eventful week. This will probably be one of the shorter podcasts that we do throughout the months. But last week we had a good one. So you know what? Not every week can be the greatest podcast known to man. But it doesn't mean we can't do our best here today. What's been going on this week? Well, my friend Asian John is in town. Got to hang out with him a little bit. He does a lot of my tattoos So it's like a really good thing knowing someone that did tattoos when they sucked and then knowing them and they go on and then get good because they forever owe you. They forever owe you a favor. You gave up your legs for their chicken scratch bullshit so that one day with enough experience, they would then get good. Basically, you're investing in them via your skin. So instead of giving them money, you give them a piece of you so that they can then level up and continue their career. And then they reach this one point of their career where now they can charge big money to tattoo regular people off the street. People now have enough faith in that person to do tattoos that they will give you money and then you give them a tattoo and then case closed. You would have never gotten to that point without the people that let you do bad tattoos. So whenever he's in town, I get a tattoo at pennies on the dollar, a fraction of the cost. So talk to him a little bit about that. You know, one thing that I think would really bother me about being a tattooer is that when you come to town or when you're in a crowd of people or you're at a barbecue and then everyone finds out that you're the tattoo guy, now you have to listen to all these people discuss a tattoo that they want to get to you. And then you're like, oh, how long have you wanted to get this tattoo? And they're like, must be 15 years. So then my thought is always, why are you talking to me then? I don't get paid to talk about tattoos, okay? I get paid to do the tattoos. When you want to get the tattoo, then you speak to me and explain to me when you want to do it, you know, how you want it to look, and then here's how much it will cost. No more of this, let me talk your ear off about a tattoo that I'm never ever going to get and make sure that I never give you any real money. I think that happens a lot to me with people that say, hey, you do YouTube, right? I want to start a YouTube channel. What do I do? And I say, well, start the channel. And they go, well, what do you mean? Shouldn't I be planning? And, you know, you could plan all day long. You could plan for the next year. But if you don't sign up for YouTube, if you don't get a username, then you haven't even started. You haven't done anything. I think a lot of people get stuck in like the fake planning stage of a lot of things in life where they're like, oh, all I need is the good microphone. All I need is the good camera. All I need is to get a little better at my video game or whatever, versus just going out and doing it. So when people are like, yeah, I want to start a podcast, and I'm like, oh, like, well, then do it. Make your first episode tomorrow. And they're like, well, I don't know what I want to make it about yet. And then I'm like, well, then you don't fucking want to make a podcast. If you, I think you look at me streaming or something, and I think a lot of people pretend that they just believe that there's more money in it than there is. I think they believe there's more money in like social media and less work. I think that people see someone like me who, in my defense, I wake up at 2 p.m. in the day. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the first 4 hours of my day is going to be filming or editing. I think a lot of people believe that I just wake up every day and just fucking take a shot of Fireball and then go back to bed. And I walk around in my robe around my mansion. And then I take a golf cart to my Ferrari. And then I spend the rest of the day just fucking off. And then I make a video where I make a fart joke. And that's my upload for the next 2 weeks. I think some people believe that versus, I guess the podcast is not the best example. But I guess what I was trying to say is go out there and start doing it. And then you'll see, then you'll find out obstacle number 2. If you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't know exactly how I want to do it or exactly what I want to do, or I want to make a YouTube about, I talked to a guy the other day. He's like, I want to make a YouTube about poker. And I'm like, okay, what is it? What do you want it to look like? He goes, I want it to look like this guy. It's a guy that goes in and plays poker, shows his cards on like a separate camera. And he's like, how do I edit that? And I was like, well, I can tell you what it's called. It's called pan and crop. Here's a free software. I wrote down the free software. I gave him the free software. I gave him the name of the YouTube tutorial to watch. And he's like, well, what if you did it? And I was like, well, if I did it, then I would have a poker channel. And you'd still be here not doing anything talking about poker. Like, well, why don't you come over and do my poker thing and I'll pay you? And I'd be like, well, then I guess you're still not running a poker channel. You know what I mean? You're paying me to run a poker channel. If this is something you like, you're going to have to get through like the initial speed bumps of learning the basics of editing or learning how you want to talk to a camera. And anyways, I'm a little bit off topic here, but I bring that all up because I imagine or I wonder if John gets annoyed with the amount of people that are, once they find out you're a tattoo guy, hey man, I got this tattoo that I wanted to get covered up. Okay, I want to get covered up. I've had it for 31 years. I've wanted it covered up for 25 of those years. And I think I want it to be a dragon. Okay, cool. Come on. Come in. He'll respond. Come into the shop on Monday and bring me a picture of what you want. And they'll go, well, I don't know about a dragon. Well, give me some time to think about it. Let's not commit on Monday. Maybe we won't do it Monday. I imagine John's then response would be like, oh, well then, best of luck. You're not going to come in. You just want to talk about it. So I wonder if that's a thing. Anyways, I was trying to figure out what tattoo I should get from him. I think I'm going to get a Dexter's Lab. If you guys remember that old Cartoon Network cartoon. And I told John that. And he's like, oh, what if you got like, you are stupid around it? You are stupid. I was like, oh, that's a great idea too. He's already thinking like a tattoo guy. Give me the Dexter. At the top, put you are. And then at the bottom, stupid, like a little rocker. And then that'd be cool. All I need to do is pick out what part of my body I want it on. And we're probably going with my calves somewhere. I think that'd be cool. Or maybe I can get him in a way where he'd be like, maybe I can get him where he's poking out of my sock. Maybe that'd be fun. Anyways, that's the idea for the next couple weeks. Luckily for me, John's in town for at least 2 weeks. So I got plenty of time for that. What else has been going on? Well, I learned how to make a new type of pasta, and now I've made it 3 times. I liked it so much. So I'm a big fan of like homemade Alfredo, right? Not from the jar. You make it yourself. All it is cream and Parmesan, right? But here's the thing. In the past, I've always used, like a lot of cream, and I used the shitty Parmesan that just says Parmesan. And then I decided last week I watched like a TikTok video on how to make kind of like a cacio e pepe. Like basically you're making like an Alfredo but without cream. It's really easy to do. I didn't realize that food could be so easy and so delicious. So instead of cream, there's just pasta water, pepper. I threw in lemon and garlic, which is not supposed to be in it. I don't give a fuck. I make the rules. And then the second time I added chicken. Oh my God, lemon at the end. It's great. Oh, and it's cheap and it's easy. And it's funny, I made it. And I was like, oh, that was easy to make. And then I made another one. I was like, oh, it's easier the second time. Third time, I made it for 2 of my friends. And they told me it was good. I'm getting real sick and tired, goddammit, of me discovering something and then me tasting it and me going, oh, this is really, really good. This is great. And then I make it for 2 or 3 people and they go, That's good. All right. And I go, listen. If it was all right, I would know. I feel like I don't have that bias of, oh, since I made it, like since I'm the one that made it, then it tastes better to me. Maybe that could be true, but motherfucker, I know this shit was good. And here's what's frustrating me. 3 out of 3 people were like, meh, it's okay. Meh, not bad. One person who weighs 230 pounds didn't finish the chicken. He goes, it's not because I don't like it. It's because I'm getting full. I said, bro, you're not. You weigh 230 pounds. You're not getting full off of this woman-sized. I made a size for a woman-sized portion. I'm telling you guys, listen, when I make some shit food, garbage food, I be trying to own up to it. I made some bean burritos, burnt the goddamn beans. Somebody was over here the other day, said, what's up with these burritos? Can I have one? I said, bro, you don't want one. It was Tex. I said, you don't want this burrito. It's burnt. I'm going to eat it because I made it. I have to, right? It's like going out on my shield or the most fucked up thing in the house. Like, I got to eat it. No one else. Everyone else should eat the good part. Or you ever like dropped food on the ground and then you eat it, but you're like, I wouldn't expect any of y'all to eat it, but I know how clean my ground is right now, kind of situation. Anyways, now I'm rambling. Anyways, I made the pasta. I didn't get the applause that I expected, so maybe I'm missing something. You know, maybe I need to do some more research because I did cut a few corners with the recipe, but I feel like I tasted it and it was great. I had a ton of pepper. Lemon. I added on mine some ghost pepper flakes. Boom. Red pepper flakes. Boom. Got it in there. Pepper everywhere. Got dry parsley on top. Oh, man. It was great. Man, whatever. Maybe people just don't understand. You know what? Parents just don't understand. What else happened? Well, I went skateboarding the other day. And I made it a point to make as many jokes about it on the second Instagram, Steve Hates Skating, because a lot of those guys, they don't think I actually ride a skateboard. So I knew what trick I was going to try. Actually, I'm a liar. I'm a goddamn liar. I went out there, I skated, I landed a trick, and then I went onto my Instagram and I said, I'm about to try this trick. Do you think I can land it? I wrote that knowing I already landed it. I've already landed the trick that I'm like fake challenging myself to do. So I go on there, I said, tomorrow, I'm going to try blunt stall backside flip. Do you think I can land it? Again, I had already landed it, so everything I do on there is like, I'm trolling anyways. I already landed it. 33% of people, over 300 people, said I would not be able to land this trick. So today, the trick gets uploaded. I haven't had any time to look at the comments or the reactions or whatever. But I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Even though I kind of faked it, I still feel good, like kind of proving everyone wrong. Am I really proving everyone wrong if it was a setup anyways? Yes and no, because those guys still definitely thought I was not going to land this trick. Anyways, also, something that was cool is I get to the park, and since the weather is really good, there's a bigger group of skaters there. You know, I've skated this park maybe 3 or 4 times in the past couple months, and there's never been a single person at the park because every day, 110 degrees, 115 degrees, no one wants to go out there and skate. If you fall down and touch the ground, your hand gets burnt. You know what I mean? If you touch the rail that you're going to try and do a board slide on and you try to wax it, it's going to burn your hand. So now that we have good weather, there's a whole little skate crew out there, probably 8 dudes just skating, little manual pad. So I go out there, I get my tricks done, and I don't say anything to them. They don't say anything to me. You know, they're working on their tricks. They're filming each other. I'm working on my tricks. I'm filming me. So everyone is doing what I think everyone should do at the skate park. You know, focus on something, get better. It can be a little bit social, but you kind of should be there. It's, you know, this skate park has been built so that you can sharpen your skills. So when I go to the park and I see a bunch of people sitting down playing on their phones, I think to myself, whoa, what a waste of an entire skate park. And now what a waste of you. Why did you come here? Just to get away from, you didn't want to sit at the gas station and text? I mean, half the people here usually don't even have a skateboard. Anyways, I was very proud to be at a park where everyone was skating. And one of the guys came up. He's like, I saw you landed your trick. I like your YouTube channel. Can we all take a picture with you? And then I was like, yeah, dude, like I didn't want to bother you guys' session because I come to the park sometimes. I don't know if you guys are like, you know, being like the designated YouTuber, quote YouTuber for the park. I never know if this crowd's gonna like me or dislike me, you know. Either like get your camera out of the way, or this guy thinks he's so good. You know, whatever it may be. Or you could just be an actual pussy and you could be like, well, he talks shit on T-Funk and hurt my feelings. So I don't go out of my way to fucking, you know, high five everybody at the park when I get there. And I told the kid, I was like, yeah, man, I'm glad you guys like the channel. I never know if I roll up to a park or whatever, if everyone, you know, like likes me or dislikes me. And he's like, come on, dude, you're crazy. Everybody, you know, we're all hyped to see you doing your tricks or whatever. And these guys are younger than me. So they told me that, and it made me think about also the new Instagram, Steve Hates Skating. And I've highlighted several comments where I copy the comment and then put it on the Instagram story, where I explain people are like, you know, if Ninja Lifestyle ever went to a skate park, he'd get his ass beat. He probably can never even hang out with skaters anywhere he goes because they would beat his ass. Because he makes jokes about skating that are hilarious. I bet wherever he goes, he's afraid. And I'm like, no, I don't go out of my way to say hi to everybody because maybe they don't want to fucking, you know, talk to me. But in my experience, that's never happened. In my experience, never. I'm just overthinking it, but it's never, ever happened. And second off, I've never been nervous going to the skate park. But the joke was, you know, oh, everywhere you go, the skaters are going to fucking beat you up. And I was like, well, in this case, they politely let me film my video, and then they all took a photo with me. Like, okay, cool. Good thing I didn't get my ass beat for being hilarious. I mean, let's not forget this. This all happened because I noticed a pro skater bent their knee weird. And I said, hey, that guy bends his knee weird. Can you imagine me talking about a weird knee and then you dedicating the rest of your life to trying to find me and fight me, only to find out that you're a bitch? Okay, well, anyways, it was just kind of a humble brag. That was the topic, is that, yeah, I landed my trick, even though you guys pray for my downfall. I still landed my trick this week. Well, I failed last week, which is a big bummer for me. Not only did I fucking land my trick, but also all the people at the park that were supposed to beat me up actually just wanted to say hi and take a photo. Kind of like the old Hey Arnold episode. I just want to use the bus stop. Some of you guys will get it. Some of you guys won't. Well, as far as interesting things that have happened this week, that's it. I mean, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the movies I've been watching, but if you guys usually zone out for the movies section of the podcast, then that's all I got. We made it a whole 18 minutes, but I would like to give away some free Ninja Lifestyle stickers. All you have to do is answer this question correctly. What is commonly known as the most painful insect sting of all? Which insect can sting you and causes the most pain, according to most sources? It says the sting feels as though you've been shot. They describe the experience as a pure, intense, brilliant pain, like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. The venom from this insect can cause muscle contractions, a burning sensation, and intense pain for 24 hours or more. Fortunately, they only live in the rainforest of South and Central America and are not a problem in the U.S. What do we have here? Cam says wasp. Lay Bloomer says disc bug. Double O says bullet ant. According to my answer sheet, bullet ant is the correct answer. So Double O, after the podcast, send me a DM and you can collect your prize. Remember, this is the only podcast in the world that gives away free Ninja Lifestyle stickers every single episode. Let's go. scorpion, yellow jacket, tarantula hawk, bullet ant, poisonous worm. What made you wait a minute? First off, poisonous worm to hurt you you have to eat it, right? Why would they just name an animal the poisonous worm knowing there's hundreds, maybe thousands of types of worms? Okay, I've had enough of you guys. What have I been watching this week? Well, I started watching X-Files. And although it is very, very corny, I like it. And I feel like I vaguely remember some of the episodes. I'm about 8 episodes in, which is a lot because these episodes are long. They're not like 25 minutes. They're like 45 minutes. And every one of them, I'm noticing has some type of trend. Like maybe I'm watching season 1, so maybe they ran out of like budget or something. But every single episode has like a chase scene where they end up in what appears to be the exact same forest every time. There's always like running and jumping over like bushes and shit in every episode. The bad guy runs away and then they're running through the bushes. And I've also noticed anytime they can't think of like what to do in an episode, the screen just fades to white and you just assume that an alien occurred. Like the windows turn white and then the whole screen, like the TV screen turns white, and then they just wake up in another location and you're like, wait a minute, what bad writing is this? Like what happened in that time period of the screen turning white and now? Now there's a new cast member or someone died and they just didn't explain any of it. It's the easiest, worst cop-out, but I guess that's kind of what you get with a show about like the extraterrestrial bullshit. But one thing I do really enjoy is they make me, because it's on Hulu, I can't skip the intro, so I have to watch the X-Files intro every time I watch a new episode, and it is really cheesy, but it's fucking scary. The part where like the body falls through the hand, there's a graphic of a body falling through space, and then it's like an X-ray of a hand, and then the body falls through the hand, and you're like, what does that mean? And then the screen turns into an eyeball, and then it's like a fucking lightning strike goes off, and you're like, what is it? This has nothing to do with the show at all. But the shows are okay. The acting's great. I love that the characters are so wild. Like they're so much more than what a human would be. Like one guy just believes anything he hears. Fox Mulder. He believes in every conspiracy theory. Anytime something weird happens, he's like, yep, I knew it was aliens. And then you have the other chick, Scully, Dana Scully, FBI. By the way, the way they think the government works in the X-Files is fucking hilarious too. But she's like, oh, like she'll be face to face with an actual alien that fucking like punches her with alien fists, and then she'll be like, well, I don't know what it was. I may have been a person dressed up as an alien. I don't know what it was. It is inconclusive. So yeah, they're both just like like complete opposites. I don't know, man. Good show so far. I also watched a movie called Uglies. It was #1 movie this week on Netflix. It's really interesting. It's about a bunch of people that are ugly, I guess, and then they get the coolest cosmetic surgery that they want. Like when they turn 16, they get a cosmetic surgery and it turns everyone super beautiful, and then they get to move from the ugly side of town to the beautiful side of town where all they do is get drunk and party all day. And you're like, oh, cool, man, I can't wait to be pretty. Why don't you, babe, while you're at it, put a big old dick on me too, and some balls, and then give me get rid of my big old chicken neck. Give me a big old strong, the fucking superhero neck. God damn it. Hook me up, dog. But what you don't know is the secret ingredient they're using to make people into pretty people. It turns out it's destroying the world. Or is it? I don't know. Could be a twist ending. There's going to be fight scenes. There's skateboarding scenes. Bro, if you like the skateboarding and that sounds interesting, it's not a gory show. It's kind of like Disney Channel, right? I think it's PG-13. But it's a pretty good movie. The chick from Gypsy Rose, chick with them big ass lips, The chick from the Gypsy Rose show is in it. So if you liked her in that show, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's hot," and I'm like, "Dude, she looks like a fucking 5-year-old." What do you mean she's hot? She's bald in that one too. Completely bald in that show. Oh, a bald 5-year-old. What the? Who's saying that? Get out of here. Big weird ass lips. Didn't we talk about how big lips are weird last week? Anyways, Uglies is pretty good. And then I watched a movie called Edge of Tomorrow. And let me tell you, this, for such a crazy story, a sci-fi story that I would never, if I knew what it was about, I wouldn't have clicked it. But I'm glad I did. It's some guy who ends up in a war zone, and he doesn't want to be there. And then something happens to him to where he can kind of see the future. But he can only see a little bit of the future. I'm not going to spoil it, because if I give you guys any more details, I'm going to spoil the entire story. But there's some interesting twists and turns. There's some cool fighting scenes. The whole entire movie is basically one big war zone fighting scene. Explosions going off. People are in these Gundam outfits where like their arms turn into big metal arms. They shoot rocket blasters across each other. Anyways, it's called Edge of Tomorrow. And as far as an action movie with a twist, kind of a thriller, it wasn't that bad. I'm sure it came from a book or something. To translate the idea, like it's kind of a big idea about time travel, right? To translate that into a movie that's easy enough to follow, I think who does that pretty well is like Back to the Future. You don't have to know much about space and time travel to kind of stay on board as to what's going on. So I think Edge of Tomorrow did a good job with that. And that one is also on Netflix for you guys to watch. That's all I have for the podcast today. Can I get a oh hell yeah from those of you in the chat who chose to stick around if you tuned in late? Don't worry. The repeat of this podcast comes out on Sunday early in the morning on Podbean, on iTunes, on Spotify, on podcast app, anywhere where podcasts can be found. Shout out to iBookBoy, Fletcher, OGZ, Late Bloomer, Double O, Fletcher, OGZ, Cam, Carbs and Curbs. What am I going to do today after the podcast? Well, I've been craving a sandwich, and I either want to get an Italian sandwich or a Cubano or a Cuban sandwich. So depending on how the rest of the day goes, maybe I'll be able to get one. Maybe I won't, but they sound good, right? A little bit of cheese. If you haven't had an Italian sandwich, a nice one, sometimes they crush it. It's basically the same. If you get it where you want it, you know, I don't want to say, if I say too much about the Italian sandwich and I get it wrong, someone from New York is going to break my legs. But I'm telling you, when they crush it with the panini crusher, oh, it's good, man. Greasy. There's pepperoni coming out of it. Cheese kind of has like sometimes a pizza kind of flavor. Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm also going to be playing some pool. Hopefully hanging out with Asian John. Girl Ryan will probably come out. Maybe see some Nick Stems. Maybe some tea, some Tex. Maybe some beers. Maybe some vodka. Maybe some Fireball. Maybe I'll even win some goddamn money gambling. But first, I got to check and see what's in my account, because I think I gambled $25 on Wednesday, which means my curfew, what is it? My limit is going to be only spending about $15 today. I try to only spend $40 a week. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing something productive this weekend. Definitely follow my YouTube channel if you want to see daily videos. We reviewed 2 videos of Jamie Foy last week. So that was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today, blunt backside flip. I landed on my channel. And then tomorrow, another ninja review of a video that actually was not that good, I think. And then the next day, podcast recap. We are staying very busy on YouTube, so check it out. Also follow on Instagram at Steve Hates Skating. I hope everyone stays safe out there, has a great weekend, and as I always say, don't drink too much, but don't drink too little.
And try to stay away from the bullet ants, Fox Mulder, because they have the most painful sting.